Sharing details of the seizure of more than 80 vehicles.
Ferrari 458 Italia worth $280,000.
You are absolutely not going to be ready for what federal agents just uncovered inside Floyd Mayweather's garage. We are talking millions of dollars worth of cars vanished. The entire luxury lineup wiped out. Bugattis, Rolls-Royce Phantoms, Lamborghinis, even his one-of-a-kind custom Ferraris, all seized. And before you think this is just about expensive cars, think again. This is part of a much deeper investigation that has been quietly building around Floyd for some time now. It traces all the way back to a messy scandal in New York, real estate fraud, mounting lawsuits, unpaid debts, and the same pattern of Mayweather presenting himself as untouchably wealthy while allegedly drowning in debt behind closed doors. Let us break down exactly what happened. Federal agents did not casually show up unannounced. They arrived in force, armed with court orders, and walked straight into Floyd Mayweather's Los Angeles mansion like they owned the place. Their target was that legendary car collection Floyd has been showing off to the world for years. More than 30 high-end vehicles stacked inside his custom-built garage like a billionaire's private showroom. And just like that, gone. According to reports, this was not a simple repossession. This was a full federal seizure authorized by a court judgment after Floyd allegedly violated multiple contracts and failed to settle debts connected to his New York luxury apartment deal. Federal agents confiscated everything, multiple Bugatti Veyrons, a Koenigsegg CCXR, and that was just the beginning.
We got options. I got about 100 cars, but right here, we like to call this the Sweet 16. Lambo, Ferrari, Lambo, Maybach, a Maybach, whatever you want to call it. Of course, the McLaren, the original McLaren. Bentley, Rolls, the Maybach truck or Maybach truck, whatever you want to call it.
And if you thought it stopped there, it only got worse. Dirt bikes, ATVs, motorcycles, and even everyday vehicles, including Hellcats and Chargers, were taken right along with the rest. They did not leave a single thing behind. They cleared out the entire garage from top to bottom. Now let us go back to the beginning, because none of this happened overnight. It all connects back to that New York real estate scandal that quietly slipped under the radar for a while. Floyd reportedly purchased 2 luxury apartments in Manhattan and presented them as premium high-value properties worth millions. He posted about them on social media like they belonged in a magazine spread about the ultra-wealthy. But here is where the story takes a sharp turn. Neither of those apartments was fully paid for. One was tangled up in a questionable leasing arrangement, and the other was essentially an Airbnb flip, a property Floyd had absolutely no legal right to be promoting or selling to anyone. A Nigerian media company called Zinni Media Concept Limited had entered into a promotion deal with Floyd that was tied directly to those apartments. Floyd never delivered. He never showed up, never fulfilled his promotional obligations, and still walked away with the money. That failure resulted in a $2.4 million court judgment being handed down against him. The federal government used that ruling as the green light they needed to begin seizing his assets, and they went straight for the thing Floyd had always valued above everything else: his cars. And here's where things get truly wild. For years, people have sat back and wondered how Floyd was possibly sustaining this lifestyle. The private jets, the stacks of diamond watches, the backpack stuffed with cash, the garage full of exotic supercars. But now the picture coming into focus tells a very different story, that a significant portion of it was nothing more than smoke and mirrors carefully crafted for public consumption. Multiple people who have done business with Floyd, from jewelers to luxury car dealers, are now stepping forward and going on record saying they were never paid. The stories paint a disturbing picture of a man literally driving off in million-dollar vehicles without ever completing the financial transactions or signing the final paperwork. Floyd built his entire empire and his entire identity around the Money Mayweather brand. But behind that carefully maintained image, a growing mountain of debt, lawsuits, and unpaid obligations has been quietly piling up. $30 million in unpaid taxes, a $15 million loss tied to a fraudulent investment scheme, a $7 million burglary at his Las Vegas home. This man has been hemorrhaging money from every direction. And while Floyd was out here telling the world that legacy matters more than money, the IRS was already drawing up the paperwork to take the garage. Let us be completely honest about something. Floyd's car collection was never just about showing off. It was a core piece of who he was as a public figure. This was a man who did not simply want to be remembered as the greatest fighter of his generation. He wanted the whole world to see him as the wealthiest person in every room he walked into. We are talking about a garage that housed 4 Bugatti Veyrons worth roughly $3.3 million each. A Koenigsegg CCXR valued at $4.8 million, one of only 2 ever produced on the entire planet. A Ferrari Enzo, a Lamborghini Aventador, a McLaren 650S, multiple Rolls-Royce Phantoms, Cullinans, Bentleys, and a Maybach. Color-coordinated fleets, all black for Los Angeles and all white for Las Vegas. Even Floyd's personal driver Bruce Miller used to share stories about how spontaneous Floyd was with his vehicles. One afternoon, it would be the Ferrari Enzo just to run errands. The next day, a Rolls-Royce Phantom just to grab snacks. But that entire dream garage has now been reduced to nothing more than evidence sitting inside a growing federal investigation. And honestly, nobody should be acting surprised. Floyd has been playing a dangerous game of financial Jenga for years, and the tower was always going to fall eventually. Go back to 2009 and JP Morgan was already taking him to court over unpaid loans tied to a Maybach and repossessing the vehicle. In 2021, luxury jeweler Leonard Selianoff filed a $3.8 million lawsuit against him for a collection of high-end watches Floyd simply never paid for and then completely ignored. That same year, reports surfaced that he owed Gervonta Davis a staggering $34 million in back payments from fights they had worked together. And then in 2024, the Nigerian media firm's lawsuit became the final piece that gave federal authorities the legal opening they needed to begin seizing his property directly. This is not the story of one man forgetting to settle a few bills. This is a deeply established pattern of behavior. Floyd has been living as though the nine-figure fight purses never stopped coming in. But the reality is those checks dried up a long time ago. And now the consequences are arriving all at once from every direction. And how can anyone forget the Logan Paul situation? Logan went on record publicly and stated clearly that Floyd never paid him the full amount he was owed. We are not talking about pocket change here. Logan said point blank that Floyd owes him several $1,000,000 and that more than a year had passed without resolution. Think about that for a second. This man stepped into a ring and took punches from one of the greatest boxers who ever lived for 8 rounds, and then could not even get his check. That is genuinely outrageous. Logan was eventually forced to bring in legal representation just to chase down the money he was rightfully owed. And from what was last reported, he was still waiting. The part that makes it even worse is that while Logan was going through all of that, Floyd was out on social media posting pictures of himself surrounded by stacks of cash without a care in the world. That is not just shady. That is a whole different level of audacity. But the story keeps going. Chael Sonnen, the MMA world's most outspoken voice who has never once held back an opinion, has been calling Floyd out on his financial smoke and mirrors for years. When Floyd went public claiming he pocketed $300 million from the Conor McGregor fight, Sonnen was not having any of it. He flat out said the numbers did not add up and accused Floyd of inflating his earnings to protect an image while the IRS was already breathing down his neck. Sonnen even claimed that Floyd's own business manager had privately confirmed the real figure was significantly lower than what Floyd was telling the public. That all those videos of cash stacked to the ceiling were nothing more than a carefully maintained illusion designed to keep the Money Mayweather brand looking invincible. At this point, the question people are asking out loud is impossible to ignore. Is Floyd Mayweather actually heading toward financial ruin? He is reportedly burning through $75 million every single year. He owns a $15 million diamond watch. He has never stopped purchasing new cars and jewelry. And all of this is happening while he owes millions upon millions in taxes and faces lawsuit after lawsuit with no end in sight.
You'll see reports. You mentioned 100 million for Floyd. The reports are 130. First off, he's never gotten 100 million for a fight, not even remotely close. But there's reports of 130. Wow. There's reports online that Floyd's a billionaire. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete in this year and this year and this, over Cristiano Ronaldo.
You think it's bullshit?
I know it is. And there's public companies they do business with. HBO would be one of them. Find an executive to back the claim. It's never happened and it won't be.
And how do you know it's bullshit?
He makes very good money because I know the fight business. I've been in the fight business my whole life.
And then there is the part that reveals everything. Floyd keeps climbing into the ring for exhibition matches, including the one against Logan Paul, while insisting it is purely for the love of the sport. But promoters like Eddie Hearn are not buying that story for even a second. They have been saying for a while now that these exhibitions are not about legacy or passion. They are about cash flow. You can only keep the illusion going for so long before reality closes in. And now, with his entire car collection in federal hands, and his complete financial history sitting under a microscope, it genuinely looks like the Money Mayweather image is finally beginning to crack and crumble.
Why has it always come to money?
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money. You can't take your wife on a date for free.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. Me, I'm loyal and honest. And I'm a good person. And I call a spade a spade. Money don't make me, I make money. And without money, I'd be the same person. I fought so many fights for free.
You're getting emotional now.
No, not at all. No, I'm thinking. You know, I'm always thinking. How can I get better? How can our company grow? How can I continue to teach people around me how to fish? And I don't want to fish for them.
So where does this all go from here? Floyd Mayweather spent decades constructing a reputation as someone completely untouchable, in the ring, in business, and in life. But the federal government just sent a message that cannot be ignored. All of it, the flashy cars, the garage full of exotic supercars, the Instagram flexes, all of it was collateral waiting to be collected. With his name now attached to questionable real estate deals, years of unpaid taxes, a string of active lawsuits, and a federal raid on his property, it is becoming harder and harder to look away from the possibility that this could be the beginning of the end for the Money Mayweather era. Because as it turns out, even the man who called himself the best ever cannot slip away from the IRS. Let us know exactly what you think down in the comments. Is Floyd genuinely broke, or is this just another situation that got out of hand? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and we will see you in the next one on Punching Era.